Hello and Namaste, my name is Diti Nagori and I'm super excited to be on Leap Scholars channel today to talk about all things Canada. In today's video, we're going to talk about a secret path to Canada which is not very well advertised and is very less known. This is the Study to Stay pathway, and it leads you to a PR and much more benefits. So in today's video, let's talk about what's the Study to Stay pathway for an international student, how it can lead to a PR, and what are the other benefits that come with it. Now, trust me, these benefits are not well known, they're not well advertised. So you'll find a lot of crisp information in this video. If you want to see more videos like this, and if you want us to continue talking to you about Canada, make sure you share this video with your friends, families, anybody that you know who's interested in Canada. Make sure you make the view count hit a 20,000 at the minimum. On that note, let's dive into the video. Just to give you a brief background to myself, I live in Toronto, Canada, have moved here on PR, and it's been about 3 years since I moved. A lot has changed. Canada is an immigrant-friendly country and sees massive immigration updates. Not to forget that we also saw a pandemic in between that kind of changed a lot of things. So I am here to give you all the most recent updates on permanent residency that you can use. And trust me, this is not information that you're going to find everywhere. So let's get started. I'm going to give you 3 total pathways that are lesser known and lesser used. First up, a lot of Canadian provinces follow this pathway, which is called Study to Stay pathway. In this, if you are an international student, then you have a direct pathway to apply for a provincial PR. Now, what is a provincial PR? A PR is something that gives you all rights of a citizen. So if you have a PR of Canada, you get all rights of a citizen except voting rights. A provincial PR gives you all of those rights in one province. So you apply for a provincial PR and then eventually apply for a Canadian PR and then eventually get your citizenship. So a Canadian PR does come slightly later in this process, but what a provincial PR does is it gives you extra points to apply for your Canadian PR. So if you move to Canada as an international student and meet the eligibility requirement, which is generally 2 things. First, getting an education in a particular province, and second, getting some work experience. We'll talk about the work experience as well, because now there's a different program for that in some provinces. But as long as you meet these 2 criteria, you can go and apply for a provincial PR because there's a direct pathway. There are 4 provinces that currently have this: Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario, and Manitoba. As long as you've studied here and found jobs, you can apply for a provincial PR. You also have 4 Atlantic provinces that have come up with their own program. It was pilot initially, but now it has been made permanent. This is called the Atlantic Immigration Program. And in this, as long as you've studied in any of these provinces, whether you have the work experience or not, you can go ahead and apply for your provincial PR in the AIPP program. These provinces are New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, Newfoundland, and Labrador. In my opinion, the Atlantic provinces have the best study to stay programs for international students because they guide these international students throughout their Canadian student journey. So you get extensive training, you get a lot of networking opportunities, you get a lot of interview, placement support, alumni, etc. And obviously the best feature of the Atlantic Immigration Program, where you can just apply for a PR right after graduation before you start working. At this point, I do want to remind you that even if you're a student who's doing work from home in Canada, you would tend to make more money because you would get paid in Canadian dollars. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, you've heard so much about PR. What are the benefits of PR? Of course, there are a lot of benefits that are advertised, which is free healthcare, free education, government support, etc. But there are a lot of other benefits that are not advertised. So let's take this opportunity to also tell you what are the non-advertised benefits of having a PR. Apart from the free healthcare and education, you also get government support for childcare, buying your first house, a lot of subsidies. When COVID hit, the government was paying $2,000 every month to people who'd lost their jobs. So there are a lot of government programs to make sure that you're financially afloat, and some really lesser known benefits like free college diplomas, just like the one you see up on the screen. You also get a lot of support from agencies that are funded entirely by the federal government. So you get settlement and placement and professional support so that you can integrate into the society and find a good job for yourself. These come at no cost to you. And it includes benefits like a personal counselor, somebody who can train you for interviews, somebody who can help you network locally, who can build your resume, who can also get you some interviews because these organizations have tie-ups with corporates, and so they can get you interviews as well and help you completely integrate personally and professionally into the Canadian society. And if this is not enough, there are a bunch of free training programs that come with guaranteed interviews. Yes, just like the one you see up on screen. In short, apart from quality of life and work opportunities, there are a lot of other benefits of a Canadian PR that are not well known. And finally, coming to the last segment of our video, one of the best known benefits of a Canadian PR is that you get Canadian citizenship in 3 years. Now, if you're wondering what are the benefits of having a Canadian passport, let's talk a little more about that. The most important benefit is that you can leave and enter Canada at your own free will. And it opens doors for you in more than 75 countries because Canadian passport holders have lesser visa regulations, so getting visa sponsorships are much more easier. The legal liability that employers in different countries have to take are much lesser if you are on a Canadian passport as opposed to an Indian passport. Whether it's the lesser legal hassles that employers in different countries have to go through, or the fact that Canadian passport holders can sponsor their own visas in multiple countries, it does make global mobility much easier. So if you have a traveler's heart like mine, where you don't know where you want to be in the next 5 years, where you want to explore the world and see if you want to find a different home every few years, then this passport can really help you. And if you think that you'll have to break all your ties with India to get a Canadian passport, that's not going to happen as well, because now India has OCI, which is Overseas Citizen of India. So you can apply for that and have a Canadian passport. At the end of it all, it's a win-win situation. At this point, I'm pretty sure I've gotten you very excited about Canada and you want to know what are the new rules, because there are so many immigration changes that have just happened and that are going to be implemented in June and July of 2022. So if you are interested in knowing all of those new rules, if you want to know what's the new PR process with everything updated, if you want the latest and the greatest information on all of it, make sure you share this video and make it reach 20,000 views. Also, make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to Leap Scholars channel, because trust me, the work they do is insane. And until Leap Scholar and I see you in Canada, please make sure you take care of yourself. Stay safe. Namaste.